Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Well, I thought that the next video on this channel would involve Michigan football, and I do have more Michigan football content coming, as we are, as of now, going to have a season which is going to kick off in late October. But while Michigan football is the rock on which I've built my church, I do want to use the channel to cover some other things. I'm a basketball guy. I was a basketball guy first, but also sports news and what's relevant in the realm of sports, in addition to the contests on the field. And so recently, after one of my NBA videos, one of my subscribers, shout out to Gary, said that, hey, the viewership on some of these might be low because because a number of us are boycotting sports. And I asked him why, and he said, we're tired of seeing social justice and politics in our sports. And that's worth noting as a content creator as well. But it just so happens that that's what's happening today. And I found an article, an article was sent to my smartphone, and I think that it's worth covering and capturing here. And so if this alienates anyone, I apologize, but this is what's happening now. A decision regarding the Breonna Taylor case came down yesterday in the state of Kentucky, and there are a lot of people who were angered by that. And so there's going to be an obvious ripple effect. I heard a couple of officers were shot last night, but this may have a potential adverse effect for those of us who have been watching the NBA. And so in the Western Conference Final, and it's believed that the champion will emerge from the West, Denver just won Game 3 in convincing fashion. And the NBA players, they actually boycotted a couple of weeks ago, I believe in the first round. Yeah, they boycotted. And so this article reads, Los Angeles Lakers, Denver Nuggets players say Breonna Taylor ruling by the grand jury, quote unquote, wasn't enough. So when I saw this title, it occurred to me that these players could boycott again. And so while we're anxiously looking to see, whether or not the Nuggets can battle back and maybe deliver a knockout blow to the Lakers, some of the players may say, you know what, we don't want to play based upon what was ruled in Kentucky regarding the Breonna Taylor case. So this article is from ESPN. I'm going to read it. It's not long. This is from Dave McMenamin and Malik. This is cut off, but this was published 16 hours ago, and it reads, oh, here it is. Dave McMenamin and Malika Andrews. Okay, so this is from Lake Buena Vista, Florida. In the Los Angeles Lakers meal room located down the hall from the court the team practiced on Wednesday, the television had been left on. The news anchor was dissecting a Kentucky grand jury's decision not to prosecute any of the officers involved in the death of Breonna Taylor. In the ballroom turned practice facility around the corner, the Lakers were finishing up the day's workout. LeBron James, sitting off to the side of the court eating a sandwich, discussed a decision with longtime friend Randy Mims and shook his head. He discussed the decision. I might have said a decision. And by the way, a friend Someone I texted yesterday told me she was furious about what was decided. Lakers players planning for a light practice after they lost Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals to the Denver Nuggets on Tuesday had their phones pinged by James earlier that afternoon, prepping them for the news. Bron texted the group chat that there might be an announcement made. Lakers guard Danny Green said, "Nobody was really happy about it. It was disappointing. In a sense, something was done, but it wasn't enough. Most guys felt it was definitely not enough. It's a tough one. It's a tough one." On Wednesday, a grand jury in Louisville indicted one police officer, Brett Hankinson, for shooting through the walls and into neighboring apartments. Hankinson was charged with 3 counts of wanton endangerment in connection to the police raid that resulted in the death of Taylor, a 26-year-old black woman, on the night of March 13th. James, who did not speak to reporters following Wednesday's practice, later tweeted that he has been lost for words today. "I'm devastated, hurt, sad, mad," James wrote on Twitter. "We want justice for Breonna Taylor, yet justice was met for her neighbor's apartment walls and not her beautiful life. I was surprised at the verdict. Absolutely not, but damn it, and still am hurt and heavy-hearted. I send my love to Breonna's mother, family, and friends. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." And then they show those tweets here from LeBron. Like many Americans, NBA players have been anticipating a decision in this case for months. Calls for justice for Taylor and for police officers involved her death to be held accountable in court have been constant from players in the bubble in Orlando, Florida. In the early days of the season restart, several players, including Laker guard Alex Caruso and Nuggets forward Jeremy Grant, dedicated entire interview sessions to discussing only Taylor. NBA teams began to advocate for victims of police brutality in their own cities. Nearly a month ago, games in the bubble came to a halt after the Milwaukee Bucks decided not to play their first round game against the Orlando Magic as the team reeled from the shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man, by police officers in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Green, who has talked about Taylor's case to begin every one of his media sessions since July, lamented the fact that the league's players haven't come together since an all-hands-on-deck meeting in August in response to the Bucks' decision. "We're still trying to make the proper steps," Green said. "We haven't even gotten the chance to reconvene. We need more time as a group, not just as our team, but as everyone in the bubble and outside the bubble, to figure out how we can continue to get progress in these certain aspects, in these certain categories, in these certain communities. Specifically with what happened today wasn't enough. We felt, and I'm sure most people around the country felt the same." Caruso, a white player who has chosen to wear the message Black Lives Matter on the back of his uniform, pointed out that for as much attention as the Taylor case is receiving, racial inequity remains pervasive. I think this one case, I think, is the focal point right now. But even since then, there's been more black innocent people that have been killed, Caruso said. It's just going to be a long journey. Steps like this are hopefully small steps in the right direction, but there's still such a long way to go. The timing of Nuggets practice Wednesday also coincided with the grand jury's decision becoming public. Denver coach Mike Malone offered the floor to Grant to address the team, which Grant declined because the news was so fresh. He chose not to, which I truly understood, Malone said. I at least wanted to give him, before we got into basketball, the option to do so, because I know it's something that he's been carrying in his heart throughout this process. Malone has consistently worn a black t-shirt with the words "Justice for Elijah McClain" printed on the front in white letters to news conferences in Orlando, Florida. McClain, a 23-year-old black man, was walking home from a convenience store last summer when police officers in Aurora, Colorado, put him in a chokehold, causing him to become unresponsive. McClain was injected with ketamine when paramedics arrived, which caused him to go into cardiac arrest, and he died a few days later. I know we've been using our platform down here to try to bring education and a voice in a lot of players on our team, especially also outspoken on justice for Breonna Taylor, Malone said. We have not gotten the justice. That's a shame. Hopefully that will change at some point. Speaking to reporters before Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Miami Heat coach Eric Spoelstra called Wednesday's outcome not justice. He added that the $12 million civil settlement that the city of Louisville reached with Taylor's family last week looks like such a ridiculously empty payoff. This has all been about justice, Spoelstra said, referring to the pushes players and coaches have made for law enforcement to be held accountable, and it was not served. His Celtics counterpart, Brad Stevens, described the news as demoralizing. To have 15 rounds of gunfire fired, 5 of which hit her, and there to be wanton endangerment, which I didn't know existed before today, as a charge is tough. At the end of the day, there's been a call across the country, rightfully so, for more transparency, more accountability, and justice, and just a better community relationship. And obviously, this feels like a setback to that. As asked for his thoughts on the ruling following Wednesday's Game 4, Celtics guard Jaylen Brown said he wasn't surprised, citing longstanding societal structures. I think that the society and the way it was built and the way its intentions were never to protect and serve people of color initially, Brown said. When they were gearing for what was about to happen, I knew the wrong decision was probably being made, but it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. Until we dismantle, recreate, or change the system that we have, we're going to still have victims like Breonna Taylor and others that fall victim to oppression. Heat forward Bam Adebayo said that processing the news while preparing for a game meant he just had to channel my anger toward the game. It's crazy that somebody killed somebody and he gets the same charge as somebody that uses an unauthorized credit card, Adebayo said. I don't think people really understand. She's dead. Somebody killed her. At the end of the day, you need justice for that. But we're going to keep fighting for justice for her. So that's the end of the article. I'm going to leave that in the description box below. I just thought it was important to capture this. This is what's happening. There are a number of us who have been watching the NBA bubble. And, it wouldn't surprise me if some of the players make another demonstration or decide to boycott or do something. And you know, it wouldn't surprise me. And I know that there are people who don't want to see this type of thing while watching sports or thinking about sports and trying to unplug. But this is what's happening. So if they were to boycott, Denver seems to be building momentum. They may have built momentum from that Game 3 win, but what if they stopped for some reason? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I don't expect this video to get a lot of views like my Michigan football content has, but I thought it was important to capture this. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.